Quilter flying, colors splash. Pins and patches, stories grow. Stitching secrets we all know. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Sewing tales with every square. Buttons falling everywhere. A crooked seam, but who will care? Iron presses lined so neat. Friendships quilt can't be beat. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Sewing tales with every square. Buttons falling everywhere. A crooked seam, but who will care? Iron presses lined so neat. Friendships quilt can't be beat. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Our Stitch by stitch they weave the tale. A patchwork life where laughs prevail. Patterns clash, but who can tell? Quilted chaos suits us well. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. And in a moment, our clock will chime. I got to put a new battery in that clock. It's losing time. I don't even know why I use it. Anyways, yes, we are here, and I'm hoping everybody can see and hear us. I'm just waiting for my monitor to kick in so I can check. And yep, and it looks like everything's working fine, so that's good. Could be more technical problems today because I'm going to try to do something else. All these things that come up on my screen all the time. Get rid of that. Okay, so let us see who is here. We have got number 1. It is Russ. Technically, Russ wasn't number 1. Earlier today, Nina was on here, and then she disappeared later on. So she was number 1, but Russ is a close second. And he says, hi, Stephen. Hi, Walter. Hi, Chat. I think it's back to nap time. Been an awesome, productive weekend so far. Yes, you've been a busy boy, haven't you, Russ? You've done, let's see, you had your 11Es on Saturday. Then you were on again at 5 o'clock on Saturday night. Then you were on today with your Kona project. And then you popped into my pop-up sewing day yesterday as well. So, yeah, you've been busy boy. Busy, busy, busy. And Barb is here. Hi, Barb. And Pace is here. And Nina is here. And Kim is here from the East Coast. And Cynthia. Hi, guys, she says. Fellow Chaz, was fun watching the live sew. Hope to get back to sewing soon. Yeah, we hope you do too, Cynthia, as well.
Elva
is here. And Julie's here. Hi, Julie. And Suzanne. And Charlotte. Many of you I saw yesterday on the pop-up sew day. Cynthia likes the song. Barbara is here. And Faith. Hello, Faith. We missed you yesterday, but I know why you weren't there because you told me you couldn't come. But that's okay. Family comes first. Grant is here. Dubrovka is here. And Al from Sunny Timmins. And Denise is here. And Karen B. Arta is here from sunny San Diego. Everybody seems to be having sunny days. Alice is here. Sue Norfleet, of course, says, thanks for a fun, full of finishing sew day yesterday. Okay, there's alliteration for you. And Caroline is here. Gloria. Karen Lyles is here from Vancouver, USA. And Sue Ellen Quilts is here. And Susan is also here. So everybody's rolling in. I'm sure there'll be a few more coming in as well. So I guess we're going to start with what we've been working on. And what have I been working on? Well, let's see if I can get this up here for you to see. Hit the right button. That's the button I want. And yeah, so I haven't gotten too far on the Stormy Sea quilt. As you can see, I've got 4 blocks done. Why is that, you may ask? Because I've been working on other projects. Christmas projects, actually, and Halloween as well. So, yeah. And I have to say, this quilt, I like it. It'll be really nice when it's done, but I'm having a hard time getting into it. And that's Walter's fault. He's making me make it. So, fine. This is what's been taking up my time, making these tote bags. And one of these little tote bags takes quite a while to do. This is the 3rd design that I'm using, and I have them on the front and the back. And one side of this bag takes 267 minutes per design, like for the 3 designs. Those are actually 2 designs put together to make that. So, you know, you do the math on how many hours that is. But of course, that doesn't count stopping for a thread change or color change. So yeah, they take a while. Basically, the front, one panel of the bag takes about a day to do. So I'm working on bag number 4 right now. Only 8 more to go. Yeah, that's why I started now. And I made this happy little guy as well. Now, I made a little mistake on this happy little guy, and I have corrected the mistake, but I will tell you all about the mistake and the stupid thing that I did on Tuesday's Idiot Quilter. And yes, I've decided I want to put some freestanding lace ornaments on each of the bags because they are going to be Christmas presents. So I downloaded about 4 different designs. And I tried one out yesterday to see how they would turn out, and they actually turned out pretty good. But I've got different designs. I'm not just doing all bells on this. And I don't know if I'll do them all in white either. I might do them in different colors. So we'll see how that works out. So I think that's all I've got to show you as to what I've been working on. So Walter's been working on something and he finished it.
I fixed his shirt.
He fixed the shirt that he put the hole in. Yeah.
2 holes in.
And how did you fix it?
Well, one part. Well, I did it actually one of my last sew day. I ripped the seams open and figured out how to close them back up again because they're sewn from the other side. So, yeah, so I just put another line of stitching down the back to close everything back up again. But then, then that I did finish, sort of finished on that day that I was doing that thing. But then what happened was, as I was snipping threads off, I snipped another hole into the shirt. And it was at the, there's a little, what do you call it? Tuck on the back that you put in on either side to make the shirt. It's like a dart. It makes the shirt top of the back skinnier at the top so that the yokes are a little smaller. So they so you can sew that in. There's a fold there, and I cut it into the fold. So I took me a little while yesterday to try and get it in such a way so that it won't fray.
You know,
I used fray check and everything else, and I folded it over again and sewed it down by hand.
You know what word is on the tip of my tongue, don't you?
Idiot.
Idiot. Idiot.
Okay, so that was my idiot move. But anyway, I did buy, actually, I went online and I bought some more of that fabric. And sometime I'll make another one of those shirts.
Speak up, for God's sakes.
Okay, yes, I know I don't talk loud.
I have turned up this volume to 125%, and you, which is amazing because any other time there is no problem hearing you. But then in here, you go blah, 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 down here. So
sorry about that.
Speak up, for God's sakes. Geez, I'm gonna have to turn the microphone up to 200% volume just to get you on here. Drive me crazy.
Yeah, so anyway, so I cut a hole in the back of the stupid shirt again, so.
Yeah. So, yeah, and that shirt, I really like that shirt.
Yeah, it always is. The one that you like the best is the one you wreck.
Well, at least I didn't wreck it. It was you. It was horrible craftsmanship. It was shoddy workmanship. It was sweatshop style.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I did have another shirt cut out for you that has little butterflies on it, which I'll do at some point.
Uh-huh. How many holes are you going to put in it?
None.
Actually, I said you could have put an embroidered patch or something over
yeah,
the
I could
hole.
have actually.
And it was butterfly, so you'd have an interesting butterfly.
Yeah, I could have done that.
That would have been a conversation piece. There were ways. But anyway, so who have come in since we were talking about that? Gloria is here. I think I said Gloria before. Bonnie's here. Jean E. Moosley is here. Judy's here. Sherry Cook is here. Em is here. Hi, Em.
Hilchen from Germany.
Hilchen is here. Colleen is here from lovely PEI. Yeah, Barb says, well, I know my speakers are at max. Well, I'm at 125% on this microphone, and I did a test this afternoon, not with him.
No.
And like I recorded it and brought it back and could hear it, no problem. So are you having any problem hearing me?
Dubravka says, Walter, Al here. I can hear you fine.
Okay. So, okay, there is a possibility that some of you, your microphones or your audio, whatever, is not turned up. your settings are low, you got cheap speakers. I don't know. Something. Because other people are hearing fine. So, you can please some of the people some of the time. Just turn up your hearing aids. Really. That works. That's what my brother does. He's got a hearing aid. He has a little app on his phone and he can make it go in a certain direction. Like if he wants to hear the people in the back that way. I mean, I kind of like one of those. I think they would be very handy to have. But anyways, so, all right. But you could speak up.
Okay, I'll try.
Yep.
I'll try and remember.
Well, now you're yelling. He does not take instruction or criticism well. If you tell him he should do something like this, he'll go to the other extreme. Just like a 5-year-old. Yeah. Okay. It's a good thing I was a teacher because I have all the patience in the world. No, I don't. All right. So he fixed my shirt. So did you do anything else exciting this week? Tended your garden, little Miss Muffet? Or
Yeah, busy
Mary
with my garden. Just planning the next trip. And
yes, he's been getting books about Japan delivered. Yeah, books.
Well, I didn't. It seemed like every book I wanted to get didn't have a Kindle version of it. So,
yeah. So anyway, so he's doing all the studying for that because yes, we are planning to go to Japan next year at some point. We haven't decided exactly when, but my travel agent will let me know when we're going. So.
I'm getting a good idea of what we're gonna do when we go.
Okay.
So
that is good to know. That is good to know.
So that because I want to get it back down so that we have the flight booked. So
yeah. So anyway, everybody can hear you. Hi, Jen. They're saying they can hear you fine. So, I don't know, people. Maybe some of you have selective hearing. When you hear Walter's voice, it triggers something and you just shut it out. I don't know.
Maybe I
do that
like
all the time.
Right? So
I do that all the time. Yeah. But anyways, okay. So lots of little bits and pieces today and whatnot. And we have a little special video that we took just an hour or so ago that we want to show you too. But before we get to that, first thing. Sewing with Stephen on Wednesdays. You know the drill. I don't think I need to go over it anymore, but the link's in the show notes. It always is. Okay. Pop-up sew day was good. I think at the height we had about 21 people, 22 people, which isn't bad, considering it's a long weekend for everybody. And the weather was half decent as well. So, yeah. So that was nice. When's the next pop-up sew day? Well, it's going to come very soon. Because Walter has a sew day of his own to go to. So that's going to be on Saturday, September the 13th. So 2 weeks' time. So there'll be stuff in the show notes, not today's, but next week or the week after, with all the stuff you need to know about that. So yeah, so we're having sew days are running rampant in all this. What's beautiful voice? Yeah, my foot. M says you can each get 2 shotgun mics so you can know for sure who's too quiet. I don't know what a shotgun mic is. Is that one of those ones that's looks like a long slender tube kind of a thing? Mm-hmm. I've got decent mics. I used to run 2 microphones on here until I figured out that really only one mic was working. They're both Yeti. Blue, they call them blue Yetis or whatever. They're good microphones. They were a little pricey, not as expensive as you could go, but I can't figure out. I have watched umpteen million videos about how to set up 2 different microphones on OBS, because this is what we're going through is OBS, and it doesn't work. Whatever they say you should do, it doesn't work. In fact, what they talk about is they don't specifically talk about having 2 Yetis. They have one Yeti and they have some other one. And I am finding with this Mac that when you have 2 devices that are named exactly the same thing, like my cameras, for example, it'll only recognize one. And there doesn't seem to be any way that I have yet to find on a Mac computer for altering the name.
Is that the Mac computer or OBS?
No, it's the Mac computer. and it could be OBS as well. But I think it's the Mac computer. I don't know.
You should be able to assign different names for the devices.
Yes, you should be able to do that, but
and
I
you
can't.
probably can, but you just have
Okay,
to know
well, I have spent like a good week researching and trying to look for it. You can in Windows, but apparently on Macs, nope, that's something else. Unless you want to go to other, and I tried them, third-party programs, and they just screwed up everything. So I don't know. I'm still trying to get all these things to work properly. It's very frustrating. But anyway, so in the meantime, we'll do it old school. Walter can speak up. Yeah. Em says, I was just kidding. Yes, those mic shapes like long tubes, super directional. Yeah, the Yeti is directional as well. In fact, it has 4 settings on it, which I have experimented with all 4 settings, and I don't see any difference between any of them. So I don't know. So I've got the one that Yeti recommends when you're doing this kind of setup to use, and that's what we're using, but we're only using 1 mic right now. I mean, if I want to invest money into wireless microphones with a power pack that we'd be wearing, maybe that would help, but they're expensive to get a decent one. I have some wireless microphones, some cheap ones. But wiring us up for this and the whole bit, it becomes problematic, to say the least. So anyways, turn up your hearing aids, turn up your volume, and Walter will turn up his volume, and all will be well. Windows doesn't like the same device half the time. Yeah, and I found, Russ, that somebody was talking about that, and they said you had to go into the registry on the Windows computer. And yeah, but I'm not using Windows, so, and I'm not going back to Windows. I used it for many, many years. Nope, I'm a Mac person now, as much as it frustrates me. Anyways, moving on. So Chatty, this past week, we had a little walk with us sequence where we took you for what I call the long walk that we often do on Sunday afternoons before we go live. And we took you down to the university, because we don't live that far from it, and into that area of our neighborhood, and into what's called Camp Samac. And Camp Samac, as I've told you before, is basically a forested area where it's a Boy Scout reserve, and our house backs right onto it. So you saw a little bit of that as well. But I have another little quickie video to show you now. We went for a long walk today, but we went in a different direction and headed down towards where there's a little shopping plaza. And in that shopping plaza, there is a store that's called Giant Tiger. But we don't call it the Giant Tiger. And Giant Tigers are exclusive to Canada. They're kind of like Dollaramas.
They're a chain that I think started in Quebec.
Yeah.
So.
And they're not a dollar store. They're more on the level of the old Kmart's or discount stores, something like that.
Yeah.
So I did a little video showing you that. I was afraid that the music in the background would pick up, so I was going to cut that out. We were going to talk our way over top of the video without the sound. But I discovered once I put it through my editing program that, nope, it didn't really pick up that. It picked up our voices. So I'm going to try to get that up here, and I hope it's going to work. I had to do some playing around with some of the settings on here. So let's see what happens, shall we? I don't think we need to be on there. So here we go. Maybe not.
Maybe not. Oh, wait.
Okay. Wait, what's going on here? All right. It was working before. Why doesn't it work now? It doesn't like full screen. Okay, well, maybe... All right. Let me try something again.
Okay, so you may have heard us mention this on some of our videos before, but this is the Giant Tiger, which you do not have those in the States. We only have them in Canada. It's sort of a discount store. Kind of reminds you in some ways of the old Kmart's in the day. But we don't call it the giant tiger. We refer to it as the big pussy. Let's go in, shall we? So here you can see their low prices.
Causing a problem with the mic.
Pillows. Now you see, okay, here you
It's not
go.
playing from that.
Oh, okay.
$7 for a pillow, but you could use this as a pillow form, which is cheap. Considering that when you buy an actual pillow form, they cost more. Pencils, pencil pillows, pencil pillows, and cool magic. My pillow. No, it's not my pillow. And of course, you need swimwear. They have it out here. What's that? Back scratchers. Oh, $3.50. They're the expensive back scratchers. Oh, they got winter jackets out. Now they do have clothing, women's fashion. High fashion. Hey, Walter, let's get one of these.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, we could wear those on the
Tickle
legs.
me Elmo.
Tickle me. No, that's the Grouch, isn't it? The I don't know. I don't know Sesame Street characters. Oh, okay, let's check out the t-shirts. Need slippers? Baby clothes. If you're a little skinnier, you could get into those. It's a good price, 3 for $10. Run around in a little onesie. Why do you look cute in a little onesie? Yeah. Oh, look. Animal prints. No, they do have bedroom stuff. Mats. You know, actually, it's quite surprising what you'll find in a store like this that you can use around your house for various things. Things, you know, like not high-end things, but like things to store things in and curtains and yeah. So home decor. Oh, there's music. I'm going to get demonetized. Lots of curtain rods and things like that. Oh, music's back on. And of course, they have groceries. Lots of nutritious nothing. More food down the aisle. Lots
Ooh,
of
all
frozen
dressed.
goodies. Well, I'm calling them goodies, but you know I'm being facetious, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to cut this all out anyways.
Okay, so that gave you a little taste of another Canadian original. So yeah, big pussy. That's what we call it. Giant tiger, big pussy. Karen says, yeah, the GT boutique. GT boutique, giant tiger. Oh, inappropriate quilter, Zaza is here. Russ says, I want an Oscar the Grouch onesie. Oh yeah, it's Oscar the Grouch. So I was right. It was the Grouch. I just couldn't remember his name. Jen says, just thought you might be interested in knowing that Dollarama has actually bought out our reject shop group here in Australia. Oh.
I had heard about that.
So they're going international now.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it went through or not.
Well, maybe you can get one of those bags. They sell them.
Yeah, I think Dollarama's better than the reject shop. We went in a reject shop.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of rejects.
Yeah.
There. And that wasn't just the stuff. Jackie's here. Dubrovka says, we call it GT Boutique. I just like big pussy. But anyway, so yeah, I thought you might be interested to see something that is uniquely Canadian, but by the sounds of things now, it's going to extend into Australia.
Well, no, not Big Pussy. Dollarama.
Or Dollarama. Oh yeah, sorry, that's Dollarama. Dollarama is also unique to Canada as well, um, as you know, because we've talked about it before too. So, anyways, we thought we'd take you on a little walk there. And coming up in the future, we have discovered that there is a hidden trail in our subdivision that takes you through the woods. And where it comes out, we're not absolutely sure. We have seen people on bicycles disappear into these bushes, but they've never returned.
It does seem that as you're doing the aerial view of Google, it joins up with the Camp Samac area. Now, I don't know if there's any fences in between that area and the trail that we saw, but we might go take a look through there.
Yeah, so we'll take you along with us too. Have to be a nice day though. We didn't go very far in there today because I think there was probably bugs as in mosquitoes, and they love Walter. You don't need to wear bug repellent around Walter with there's mosquitoes, because they all dive bomb for him. For some reason, they just love him to death. But so yeah, so stay tuned for that sometime down the road. Have to do that before the snow falls. Okay, so fall retreat is October the 25th. As you know, I've got all of my presenters lined up. Now I'm working on some other details for that. Just that I have been calling Ian, one of my presenters, the off-kilter quilter. It is not. I thought he started a second channel. I don't know why I thought this. My brain saw something different. Russ brought it up yesterday. Of course, Russ Wood. He's our fact finder. And I went on. He wanted to know how I thought that that's what his channel was called. And Russ made me prove it. And so I immediately went right to the YouTube channel. And yeah, no, it's the Off-Kilter Crafter. He just has a new banner, well, since the last I looked, and new images on it. And he has a second channel that he does with Becca of So Becca, who I am having on as well as a guest presenter. And I saw those two, and I don't know what it was. Something in my brain went, well, he does quilting. He must be the off-kilter quilter. Well, he's not. He's the I have a hard time saying this. Off-kilter crafter. It is hard to say. It's a real tongue twister. So anyways, just in case anybody else noticed my mistake. Russ wasn't the only one. I had one other person actually beat Russ out to point it out to me, and well, Russ wouldn't let it go. So, so yeah, I stand corrected. Okay, so I have been very busy making Christmas and Halloween stuff. I may have gone overboard on the Halloween stuff. I'm not showing that stuff to you today. I will show the Halloween stuff on my vlog tomorrow. But yeah, my idea this year is when the kids come to the door, they'll get candy and they're going to get a 3D printed creature. Small one. Now Walter's concerned that they could be choking hazards for little ones. Well, you know what I say to that? If you've got a babe in arms and you're bringing them around at Halloween, it isn't just my toys that'll choke them, it's the candy as well. So, yeah, parental guidance is necessary. But no, I'm not going to give things out like that to kids that I know, or, you know, first thing they're going to do is put it in their mouth. But I may have gone overboard because I've made 300.
Yeah, we get like 20
We get about
kids.
10% of that. Yeah, if we're lucky. So everybody's going to get a lot. Have a handful of these, kids. There you go. And here's some candy too. So, but you know I love making these things. So yeah. And I've been working on Christmas things for people as well. A lot of 3D prints, of course. And I'm going to talk about it tomorrow on my vlog, but I did get another 3D printer. I know. Russ already thinks there should be an intervention for me, that I may have a problem, and he's probably not wrong. So I have a really big bamboo now. It's like, it'll print things.
You're boasting.
I am. I am. Is it big? It's very big. Yes. I will be talking about that in more detail on my vlog and showing you what that looks like. I ran into I've had a couple of minor problems with it though. One of the minor problems has been fixed. The other minor problem, I have Bamboo working on it. It's not a major problem, doesn't stop me from printing or anything like that, but it annoys me because these little suckers aren't cheap, and this one definitely was not cheap. But it's bigger, so I can make bigger dragons and bigger bugs and bigger bowls and bigger boxes and bigger everything. And something else that we've been doing. Where's your little man?
Oh, my little man.
Show them your little man. Okay, that is Walter, believe it or not. That is done using ChatGPT from a picture. And actually, it is the picture we use on our splash screen for Stephen and Walter Live. That's why it has a hat on it. I watched a video about how to do this, and it's quite fascinating. Now, that's just a prototype, and it's done in one color. Actually, it takes a picture, you tell it to do several things to it, and it creates a caricature of the person, and then you put it in another program, and it becomes a file that your 3D printer can print out. Now, the original of this has 16 colors in it. My printers can't handle 16 colors, well, without stopping and changing rolls of filament. So I need to reduce it down to about 4 colors, and I can do that. And I'll probably make it a little larger. I'm going to play with this to see, because this has a lot of potential. I mean, can you say Stephen and Walter bobbleheads? You know, branded merchandise. Yeah, actually, I have me in the printer right now, but it hasn't finished. And I've got the printer on pause because I don't want the microphones picking up the sound of the printer. You know, we've had that problem before. So it's amazing what you can do with AI. It really is. It's very, very scary. Very scary. Titillating, exciting, but, you know, also scary because there's a lot of negative things about AI that I think we're already experiencing, you know. So this is a good thing, this one. But yeah, so we'll see. I love new technology. What was that? You made a noise.
No, some it's inappropriate quilters that some people have 4 AMS units on their printer.
Yes, you can do that. I have 3 AMS units, one for each of my Bamboo printers. I do have the ability to take one of those AMSs and hook it through. I have a hub on one of them, and I could do that. I haven't tried it to see how that would work out. Maybe I should. That'd be a new experiment.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, you can chain link AMSs. And for the rest of you that aren't familiar with AMSs, they stand for Automatic Material Supply, which is the thing that takes 4 different spools of filament, different colors, and it feeds it into the machine so you can get multicolored prints without having to manually switch over the rolls, which is a bit of a big problem. But yeah.
Yeah, his new one's really big, so.
Thank you. Size matters.
The big bamboo.
The big bamboo. Yes, the big bamboo. It is. It's quite the size. But I'm going to talk about it and show it to you tomorrow on the vlog. So, yeah, I do have a problem. Russ is right about that. Walter in purple. Jesus, love it. Yes, make baubles. Yeah, who knows? My imagination is my only limit. And I'm telling you, it works overtime at times. Zaza says, oh, you have 3 Bamboo printers. I just have one with 1 AMS, but I'm planning on a second AMS unit. You only have 1 Bamboo printer? Go away. I love Bamboo printers, though. I really do. But I also have 4 Creality KEs. And I had 6 Creality machines. 4 of them are KEs, and the other 2 were Ender 3s. which means nothing to those of you that are into 3D printing. But I'm not using the old ones, and I wanted to just get rid of them because they're really old technology. Still worked, but you have to do a lot of tinkering with them because they're primitive. And so I went on to Kijiji, which is an online, marketplace of sorts that we have here. I don't know if Kijiji is in other spots in the world or if it's just a Canadian one, but whatever. I listed them as being free within an hour. This guy contacted me, says, do you still have those printers? Have they been spoken for? And I said, no, if you want them, you can have them. And he says, I can be at your place in 20 minutes. And because he said, my kids would love these. And I said, sure, no problem. Very nice guy. I think he was a little afraid of what he might be getting into. I don't know. Walter was more the other way. He was a little afraid, well, what if this guy's a scammer? What if he, is casing our joint kind of a thing and all that? And I says, I don't think so. Anyways, he was a very nice gentleman, and we got them loaded in his car, and he was as happy as a pig, and you know what, about that. And I did say to him, have you ever done 3D printing before? And he said, no. And I says, okay, these are very primitive machines. I highly recommend you go on YouTube and to Creality website and watch some of their videos before you get going with these, because you will have to tinker with them. But the best part is he can't come back on me about those because they were free. So he's got them. I hope he gets them up and running for his purposes and whatnot. Sounded like it was more for his kids, and I don't know how old his kids are. But anyways, out they went. So that was good. That was good. I'd rather have somebody who really wanted them than going into landfill or something like that. And before someone says, well, why didn't you sell them? No one's going to pay for these ones. They are primitive technology now. And especially when you can pick up something that's better for under $400 now, not a bamboo, but you can pick up an A1, which is kind of their entry level printer that has good reviews for about $600 with an AMS. So yeah, I'm talking Canadian dollars, of course.
Canadian dollars, yeah.
Yeah. Zasa says, oh, you do have a problem. I just got mine at Christmas. Oh, yeah. Well, I've been doing 3D printing now for, when did I start? Was it
started a few years ago.
Was it during COVID or
it was
before
during COVID? Yeah, because remember, they accidentally dropped it off at the neighbor's house, remember?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. And it took us half a day to put it together.
Yeah.
And a lot of screaming and yelling at each other.
I'd say it was about
probably 5 years
either
ago.
winter 2020 or 2021.
Yeah. So
yeah.
And they've come a long way since then.
Oh yeah.
Like
now you don't have to do much at all. Like
No.
the bamboos that
It's
he
plug and
got,
play.
he didn't have to do much at all.
It-
And it works right out of the box.
Right out of the box, bang. You're doing stuff. And the setup is so easy. They come in one piece. All you have to do is take the AMS out of it if you get an AMS and set it on top. You plug in a couple of tubes, plug her into the wall, away you go. So if anybody out there is looking to get into 3D printing, I highly recommend the bamboo printers. And as I said, you can get their entry level at the A1, which works brilliantly. In fact, I was thinking of buying an A1 as a third printer just to play with it and everything. I thought, for smaller projects. But then they came out with the one that I did buy, and I thought, no, not going backwards, moving ahead with that. And Zaza confirms that bamboo are foolproof, which is what I needed. Judy says, it's beautiful weather in Lower Michigan. Okay. And Zaza says, my son has a resin printer which can print amazing detail. Yeah, the problem with the resin printer for me is they're more involved than a 3D printer. Yes, they do. If you want things that are like pristine in quality of printing. But resin is a liquid. It has to go through UV lights and everything, and then you have to cure it. So you need to put it in a special other unit you buy to do that. And there are fumes involved. You need to wear gloves. They should be vented, although some of the newer ones have their own internal filtering system. I don't want to get into those at all. That's a different form of 3D printing. Another steeper learning curve, I think, on those too. But they do amazing stuff. There's no two ways about it for detail.
I just wanted to mention that, to getting away from product, thing of 3D printing, Caroline made a comment back a while ago about Japan tours and that, and there was I guess another thing, she said there were some special YouTube videos by a couple of people on there, and I have been watching YouTube videos as well, so I probably ran across these other ones as well.
Yeah, what did we do before we had YouTube? Say what you will about YouTube, and I know there's a whole movement of people out there that are boycotting YouTube these days because of the number of advertisements, which I don't blame them, because they're trying to push everybody to paid. Guess who fell for that one?
I like that feature.
And how much are you paying a month?
It's $11.99 or something, plus tax, of course.
Yeah.
You get the family plan, it's $22.99.
Oh, wow, the family plan, $22.99. For single, it's $11. For two, it's $22.
Well, it can be up to 4 people.
Well, we don't have 2 other people. Like, really. But
anyway, yeah, so yeah. I watch a lot of YouTube. And thing is we ran across a couple of people, your sister-in-law, and another person I talked to, that I mentioned we had a YouTube channel, and they said, "Oh, I never watch YouTube." And his sister-in-law said, saying, "Oh, I never watch YouTube."
Good, because she doesn't see my channel, then she doesn't hear all the nasty things I say about my brother.
And I thought, one thing YouTube's really good for is if you have a problem with something like an appliance or anything, you can look up people that tell you how to fix things.
Yeah. I mean, when I first got into quilting, I went to YouTube. That's where I learned a lot of things. And if there's something I want to learn about quilting or about 3D printing or travel or fixing appliances or whatever, first place I go is, I wonder if there's a video about that. And this is really good for people who are visual learners. And I tend to be a visual learner. So it appeals to my learning style too. But Zaza says, I'm not giving them money. I'd rather support channels than YouTube itself. Yeah, because YouTube is already making a lot of money off the backs of content creators.
Yeah, but then you can say, well, why don't we go to Netflix that has the paid...
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But I don't know. I guess it's a principle thing, in a sense. Of course, now that he has it without...
Watch it sometime with.
Yeah, I know. Because there are some things I watch, and I was watching something earlier today, and every 2 minutes there was a bloody ad came up. And just so you know, you probably know this already, but content creators have no control over advertising on the channels. And even if we turn around and say turned off monetization, there'd still be ads. It used to be if you were not monetized, you didn't get advertising, but they changed that several years ago. So it doesn't matter. So yeah, but basically we as YouTube creators have no control over the ads, the number of ads, or where they're placed. So yeah. Barb says she just started watching YouTube during the pandemic to learn how to quilt. Yeah. And Jean says we pay for YouTube also. It is so worth it. Yeah, I know. It's just the way that they have done this to us,
Get rid of Disney and...
Well, yeah. Actually, I could get rid of Disney. But then Disney every now and then comes up with something you want to see. But, Disney is not cheap. I pay for Disney Channel. But really, there is not a heck of a lot on it. And it's far and few between when they have anything that's decent. And so, I don't know. So as soon as I get rid of it, then they'd put something on I really want to see. So I don't know. Maybe I should. But talking about subscription things too, and relate it to YouTube and 3D printing, I joined about 2 months, well, about a month and a half ago, a private group that is a subscription-based group where this guy is establishing a 3D print guild. And I watched his videos on YouTube, and I think they're pretty good. And I found some useful information on that. So I decided to take a chance. Well, the thing was he's charging introductory price $14 a month. Subscription price, American. I didn't realize how that was translating into Canadian dollars. It translates to over 20 some dollars a month. And I'm not getting my value out of it because he's basically not teaching me anything I didn't already know. And yes, I realize that he's trying to go for the lowest common denominator here for beginners, but a lot of the people that have joined this group don't seem to be beginners. Also, all it is basically people showing what they've made. Well, you can do that on YouTube channel. I know. So like, no, so this morning I canceled my membership. Now I suspect once he sees that my membership has been canceled, that he will send me an email and want to know why I canceled. And I'm going to tell him up front.
You don't have content that's worth the
like
worth the payment.
One of the things was he was going to talk about how to actually do your own modeling, meaning using AutoCAD like programs to create things. And there are a lot of different ones out there, but they are steep learning curves. And I thought, well, this might be a way for me to get my hands into doing this kind of thing. You know, if he was going to be instructing. Yeah, he is. He's picked a program that you have to pay for. It only works on an iPad, and it's a sculpting program. And I'm not a sculptor. And I've watched a couple of his videos on it, and he doesn't have that many videos about doing this. And it's called Nomad Sculpting or something. And I'm thinking, why not do, and I sent him a message. I says, are you going to talk about like Tinkercad, which is very, very popular. It's a freebie as well on that. No, he may be down the road. So it sounds to me like he's gone to this one because he knows how to use it, and that's what he's putting up there. But I resent the fact that I would have to buy it. I think it's 25 American dollars, and it's not a subscription. You actually buy it. It's an online program, but you can only use it on your, well, it's an app. You download it to your iPad. But I could see down the road, because it's a relatively new program, that they will eventually go to a subscription-based model.
You'd be better off looking for a course.
Yeah.
And taking a CAD course for it.
And there are courses on YouTube that are free. And for that kind of thing. I just have to... One of the things is it's time. You know, like it takes away from my other things that I like to do. But I think I'm getting to the point where I kind of need the challenge now. So, but anyways, this thing was a disappointment.
Yeah, Barb says he sounds like he's winging it.
He is.
Yeah.
He
wants to make extra money, but
yeah.
He's not doing a good format.
No, he's put together what he knows. It's on a platform called Heartbeat or something, which actually isn't hard to use. And he does these lives every so often. We had a live on Friday night. Why does anybody want to go? I mean, okay, they are geeks that are in there, so I suppose Friday night, that's a hot time for them. But
they're not in bars picking up other geeks.
Yeah, I guess. But I don't know. I mean, I think maybe for some people, they enjoy it. Maybe they enjoy the social element to it, because I think he's trying to create that. He calls it a guild. But for me, no. And I just can't see, because when you work it out, It's like $260 Canadian a year for this. And I don't think I'm getting my money's worth. So I'm cutting it quick on that. So we'll see how that all works out. But anyways, it better cut off because I did it before the next renewal. And the next renewal date is in another couple of weeks' time, and I decided today, no, I'm not going to leave it to the last minute to get rid of it. I've decided I'm getting rid of it, so I got rid of it. So they better not to automatically charge my credit card for the next period of it because.
Well, you can put a stop on it.
Yeah, and I will. But anyways, we'll see. Melissa says we have YouTube family subscription, and I feel it's well worth it. We had satellite radio in multiple vehicles for $35 a month. We dropped that and both listen to YouTube music now instead. Yeah, well, you used to have a satellite. You used to have
Siri.
I
used to have satellite.
Or Sirius, I mean.
Siri, and I got rid of it because problem I had with Sirius was that I only listened to 1 or 2 stations, and they kept playing the same songs over and over and over again. And they didn't refresh the songs as when I first got it. They were refreshing the songs quickly, but then they just stopped refreshing them. So they just kept playing the same stuff over and over again, and I got tired of it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll start watching it on Walter's connection. Although that means that my subscriptions and things aren't in effect on that because I'll be under his username. But everything is subscription now.
I know that's the problem. Everything you want has got a subscription price to it, and you can only handle so many subscriptions.
Yeah. And the thing is, what they're hoping for too is you forget how many subscriptions you have, and because it's all automatic, right?
Yeah.
And suddenly it's adding up to, well, there is a program that I think you can subscribe to that'll manage your subscriptions.
Like, I mean, we used to have an espresso machine. We don't have that. We have a regular coffee machine now. And you could get a subscription to buy your coffee. And they would give you a discount if you bought it on subscription. Yeah. Well, it depends on how much you use, right? And then there was something else. Our refrigerator takes a filter.
Oh, yeah.
And apparently they can get a subscription for the filters, which I'll just buy them when I need them.
You can go on to Amazon and you can get subscriptions for a variety of different products. Like a lot of them are like cosmetic problems or something, or products or that, where, you get a certain moisturizer cream or something, or beard oil or something like that. That's not so much for the ladies, although it could be. It happens. So, but I'm not buying into those subscription programs because no. No. But I don't know. Maybe it's come to the point. I hate to give in to YouTube on.
I don't know why you hate to give in on YouTube. You've given in on other things.
Yeah, I know. Whatever. Yeah, you're a big proponent of it now, but I remember one time you said, I'm not paying for that.
Well, not until the commercials were excessive.
And you kept it kind of quiet from me. You didn't bother to bring it up, and then you...
No, I told you about a day or two afterwards.
Be a week or two.
It was an impulse.
More of a week or two.
It was an impulse.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, just like crappy tires, an impulse too for you. So whatever. So anyways, yeah. So I thought you might be interested in the other thing that Walter's been working on, his garden on the deck. I say his garden because I just look at it, pick a few things, make a salad. But it's been doing well, but we've got kind of a second life happening right now with it. So I'll just show you what I'm talking about. These are our jalapeno peppers. They're doing very well, and we're getting some red ones now. They're starting to turn, which is good. I like to pickle them, but I chop them up and I mix them with regular peppers and this year chili peppers that are coming on, which I have a picture of those too that I can show you. There they are. They've all gone, they're starting to turn red as well. And I pickle all this stuff, and it's really actually great. You can toss some of it. I put in some thinly sliced carrots
in the garbage
and some garlic and some onion. Toss it. I thought you liked it.
No, I do. I just When everybody says toss it, I always think toss it in the garbage.
He's so supportive of my pickling. Man, pickle you. But anyways, it's yum yum, as we say. Now, this is one of our melons, our cantaloupes. And we didn't know if this was Walter. Why did you decide to grow cantaloupes?
Well, no, I didn't. Actually, I was getting a cucumber plant, and right next, I thought, and I picked up one of these because I thought it was a cucumber plant, and it said cantaloupes on it, and I thought, last year I tried cucumbers, which I did again this year, and I thought, well, what the hell, let's try cantaloupes.
So they are growing. They're a bit slow. This one's our biggest one. How's the one doing that's hanging over?
The one hanging over is bigger than that one.
Okay, but you still haven't. You didn't.
No, I haven't supported it.
Because one day that's our melon's going to fall down on the ground and like it's story
smash,
up, and they'll have a smashed melon. But here are some more of our melons. They're a little smaller, but they're coming on. So I don't know if they're, will they mature enough that we'll be able to eat them? We'll see. We started them a little late in the season too, according to what we found out.
Yeah.
Now, we have had cucumbers from our cucumber, but we've got a new crop coming. You can see these little ones. So we've got gherkins now, but there is one little bigger one in the back here. So I don't know how long.
There's a bigger one than that.
Where's the?
It's the one hanging down near the bottom.
Well, I didn't find it.
Yeah.
Our green peppers are turning red, which is a good thing. Too. Well, I just figured out Angel's not on here today. She'd tell me because she's our pepper expert. But green peppers are not ripe, even though we eat them. Red peppers are the green peppers ripe, but they take longer. But anyways,
that's why they're more expensive.
Yeah. And there's some, these are orange peppers.
Mm-hmm.
This variety are turning orange. It's kind of like you don't know what color you're going to end up with. We have yellow peppers too. Now this is one jar. Okay, so I picked my stuff for this and I thought I had tons of it. Well, I got one jar. I'm going to make more, but this has the jalapenos sliced up. It has the chili peppers sliced up. It has some thinly sliced carrots, some green peppers. Eventually there'll be red peppers in there, a little bit of onion and some garlic, and I pickled it. And I made it last year, and we're on the last jar from last year. And it's quite tasty, and I like to throw it in a salad, a couple of tablespoons of it in a salad. It's great on a cracker, slip it on a Ritz. So I'm very fond of my pickled peppers because I picked a peck of pickled peppers for Peter, or Peter picked a peck of pickled peppers. How many pickled peppers? I don't know how the rest of it goes. Then I get tied up, but it needed to be said. Okay. So let me get our screen so we can see what's going on here. Melissa's talking about paying for YouTube as well, and it looks like everybody likes Amazon or YouTube Music and Amazon Prime Music. I have Amazon Prime Music. Well, no,
you don't.
No, you have to pay. Even though I have Prime, you don't get it with Prime.
You get basic music with Prime,
but we don't use it. We use Apple.
I have an Apple subscription, so I use Apple because I have Apple CarPlay. I use Apple Music for my phone. So instead of Sirius, which I like better because I can get whatever I want.
Yeah. Barb says, remember back in the days when you'd get 50 cassette tapes for only $1? Oh, yeah.
What, the Columbia
House. Yep, I did that. I did that when I was a teenager. Yeah. Melissa says, I refuse to get Amazon Prime because they won't deliver so many things to a P.O. box. When we want, we do the $35 free shipping or don't order. Oh, okay. Didn't know they didn't do it to a P.O. box. There are some difficulties with Prime because it used to be you got 1 day delivery. Now it's more like 2 days. And there are some things, even when you have Prime, that you have to have a minimum order of $25 to get them, like same day delivery or something like that. So there are some tricks in that. I've had Prime for a couple of years now, and I'll probably continue with it. But you have to watch these things, you
Yeah,
know?
I tried to actually I try not to order from Amazon that much, but I eventually end up ordering from them anyway. But
Yeah. Well, you know, I tried to go off the Amazon buying. They've got you. They've got us. I
yeah, I
mean,
mean, like for instance, I bought a saw blade from Amazon. I wanted a specific saw blade for cutting the blinds that I did, right? So I determined I wanted a DeWalt 1180 10 or 1180 or whatever, a certain model, right? So I went to Canadian Tire
hmm,
and they had it for $119. I went to Rona, which is our Canadian building store. It was $95,
hmm,
right? I could get it from Home Depot, but I had to order it online from Home Depot and I'd have to wait for them to deliver it to the store. And that was $79.99. Or I could order it from Amazon for $79.99 and have it delivered the next day.
here. Now, in reverse of that, that just happened to me recently, I needed a specialty quilting ruler for that Stormy Sea quilt that I'm working on, which really pissed me off because there was nothing on the instructions. I bought it as a kit that said you'd also needed this ruler, and I didn't discover it until I was into the fourth block, and it's saying you need this 2 peaks in one ruler, and they don't give you an alternative. I know there are alternatives, but I didn't want to bother screwing around doing quilt math or finding stuff on YouTube for this. So I went to Amazon to see if they had it. They did. It was a Creative Grids ruler and it was about $40, and of course it was free shipping because I have Prime. But here was the kicker. It wouldn't been delivered until sometime between September 29th and October 18th. Well, no, I didn't want to wait that long. So I found a local, well, not a local, but a quilt store here in Western Ontario that I've dealt with before, Stitch It Central. And they had it. It was more expensive, a little bit more expensive, but also I had to pay for shipping, which was reasonable. It was $10 for shipping through Canada Post. But by the time I was done, that ruler was costing me $75. Whereas on Amazon, it would have only cost me $40. But I got it. I have it now. I got it within 3 days. They sent it by Expedite at
Of
Canada
course,
Post.
you found out our local quilt store.
Yeah, I know. Well, this is the problem with our local quilt store. They have a website. They don't put everything up on it, and they really should. They really need to make their website a little bit more verbose, because I mean, I could have phoned them up and said, "Do you have it in stock?" I probably should have. But when we happened to be in the store on Saturday or Friday, and so I asked one of the ladies that works there, says, "By any chance, you don't happen to have?" She goes, "Oh yeah, we've got them." Now they weren't out though. They didn't have them out. And the reason they didn't have them out on display was because they're running this quilt kit that I bought. They're running as a class as well. So I know when they have a specialty ruler that they need for something, they will hold them back so that the people taking the class have an opportunity to purchase one so they don't run out. And then after that, they put them up for sale for, other people. So that's why they didn't have them out. Now, I probably could have got one, but I'd already ordered the other one. So, yeah. I've done that to myself with them before, too, figuring they don't have something, and they do. So, yeah. But anyways, live and learn. I got the stupid ruler. Alice says, I have been a Prime member since 2001.
Well, Arda wants to know if you have a recipe for your pickling brine.
It's pretty basic. I got it off the internet. All it is it's a cup of vinegar, white vinegar, half a cup of white sugar, and I think 2 tablespoons of coarse salt or sea salt, kosher salt, whatever you've got. You throw those all in a pot. Oh, and a cup of water. You throw those in a pot, bring it to a boil, take it off the heat, pack your jars with whatever you're going to pickle. Nice, and make sure you've cleaned your jars if they've been used before very well. Make sure the seal on the jar is still secure. Wash them in very, very hot water very thoroughly, dry them in the whole bit, and pack them with your stuff in there. Pour the brine over top of them, seal the lid, and let it sit on your counter until it comes to room temperature, and watch your seal. It should suck down into it. You'll probably hear it go like at some point, and that means you've got a good seal. And then you just throw them in your refrigerator. And like I said, I made some this time last year, and we're on the last jar, and they've been sitting in the fridge since that time, and they were fine. We haven't died. So now, I would strongly suggest though you read about pickling a little bit, because if you don't do it quite right, there is a chance you could kill yourself. You could get botulism, okay, from things that aren't properly pickled. Although when you're doing something like this one, you're probably okay. But certain things, yeah, it can be dangerous. So if you've never pickled before, do find some videos about pickling and the cautions there are about it. I didn't know they had Prime since 2001. Boy,
yeah, probably.
I guess I just never paid attention to it from that, or maybe we couldn't get it in Canada.
Yeah, it's
at
possible.
that time.
I know we don't. There's no such thing as a family Prime membership in Canada.
No, they don't give it to us.
No. I checked a little while ago again. Nope. Barb Olson says there should have been a sticker on the front of the cake.
Yeah, there should have been. Or it should have been on, how they put the pattern sometimes into a clear sleeve. And so on the back of the pattern, it shows you what fabrics you'll need and how much of each. They could have printed that on that. Now, that isn't the fault of the quilt store. That's the fault of the designers of the pattern. The quilt store just put the kits together. But they should have put in a notice on there too and said, oh yeah, you also will need to get this particular ruler.
Now, the one lady said that the person that's instructing it has a workaround for using it too.
Yeah. And actually somebody in my comments on the Idiot Quilter this week put in some workarounds for that. Another type of ruler that would do it, or they gave me about 3 different choices that I could look up, but I've got the ruler now. Also, I want to do it the way the pattern calls for, because this kit cost me $400, and I also don't like the way they're making flying geese, but I would rather do it the way I have a special ruler to cut down flying geese. You make them oversized. This one, you're dealing with 1/8 of an inch. I do not like cutting 1/8 of an inch. And you're putting triangles together instead of like a rectangle, and doing the flip and sew method and then cutting off and that kind of stuff, which is much easier. But I'm not sure if there's enough fabric. And I'm being very, very cautious with when I'm cutting to have as little waste as possible, because I don't want to run out of fabric. And I don't know how easy. I mean, it is batiks. And I probably could, if I ran out of something, I probably could get some, because my local quilt store has a fairly extensive selection of batiks. But you never know, right? So that's one reason why if it calls for this ruler, then I'm going to bite the bullet. I'm into this already for over $400. What's another $75? For this. I hope Walter will appreciate this. He likes the quilt. He doesn't like the quilt that's on the bed that I spent 2 years making. To it. Oh, don't you tell me that now. Right. So, moving on. Tomorrow is Labor Day. And I still get a little, I don't know what you call it, woo-woo or something, because it used to be when I was a teacher, Labor Day meant they're going back with it. And I would not sleep on Labor Day night. All the things going through my head for the next, school year, things I needed to do, what I had to get, and I've already been into the school for about 2 weeks before anyways, getting things, my classroom set up, my stuff printed out, things organized, meetings, all this kind of stuff. And then I used to have these dreams. And every time I'd have the dreams, I'm standing in front of a class trying to teach. I am stark naked. And I'm the only one that seems to notice that I'm naked. I'm trying to position myself in certain ways so it's very nonchalant. No one will notice that I'm naked, but I know I'm naked, but nobody notices I'm naked. I guess those are called vulnerability dreams. I've read that in a book, that if you have a dream where you're naked, nobody else is, and you're in a crowd of people supposedly in your dream, it means you're feeling vulnerable at that point, and believe me, first day of school with the kids, it's exciting, it's exhausting, and it's also petrifying, because you look at them and go, okay, who are the troublemakers? Who am I going to have to deal with first? Who has to have attitude readjustment performed on them in this? Yeah, but I don't have to worry about that anymore, and haven't had to worry about it for 13 years. So yeah, geez, hard to believe I've been retired for 13 years. So anybody out there that's a teacher, I know you know what I'm talking about, and good luck. Enjoy the year. Joidy's here. Denise says, enjoying listening to you both as I'm in my sewing room for the first time. My calendar said June. Okay, been a while, hasn't it? Yeah, Barb, they could have done that too. So anyways, happy Labor Day to everybody, which is sort of the unofficial end of summer, although summer doesn't end until September the 21st. So we still have a few weeks, but yeah, I hate it when summer goes. I like summer. Okay, so you saw in the title that it says, sadly, no prize. Now, I was thinking that today would have been the first Sunday, first live of the month, but actually, technically, it would be next week. Oh, I just broke my pen. Okay, that was a good move. Yeah, but there won't be any draws anymore. Tariffs.
For now, anyway.
For now. Okay, let's talk about this. We talked about this on the pop-up so day, and I did some research. And yeah, the tariffs affect. I didn't think the tariffs were going to affect if you sent something to somebody that was under a certain amount of money and you marked it as a gift. Apparently, it does. And this is what I found. I put in the question, if I send a gift from Canada to the United States that's under $10, I put under $10 and declare that it's a gift, does the recipient have to pay tariffs? It's not me that has to pay the tariffs. Sending it, it's the person getting it. And this is the answer I got. Yes, the recipient may have to pay tariffs when a gift is sent from Canada to the U.S. due to a recent regulatory change on August the 29th, 2025, which eliminated the previous de minimis threshold that allowed duty-free gifts under a certain value. Now, all packages shipped to the U.S. are subject to applicable duties and taxes, meaning the receiver will likely have to pay these charges. The specific duties and taxes owed are determined by the U.S. Customs and Border Protection based on the item's value and country of origin, and these charges are collected by the courier or USPS at the time of delivery. And here's something else we found out, and this came from a couple of people, Americans that were on the pop-up so day that are kind of in the know about this stuff. They said right now U.S. Customs doesn't know how to handle this now that de minimis is gone. I guess de minimis used to allow you to receive something up to $800 value without paying a tariff or a duty or anything on it. And that's now been removed by the Trump administration as of August 29th. And they said what the customs services are doing is the usual charge for something like that for customs is 10% of the value. So they're taking 10% of that $800, that was the exemption, and just outright just charging everybody, no matter what it is, that comes over as a gift, $80. Okay, I'm not sending stuff out. I'm not having a drop because I don't want somebody, and most of my subscribers live in the United States, so the chances are that a winner of something on my draw would be an American are pretty good. And I don't want you receiving this and finding out you're going to have to pay any duty on it. $80 or whatever it might come to. So I have suspended doing the draws for now. Now, this is in the courts, apparently, in the States. However, it's supposedly probably going to go to the Supreme Court. And something about October seems to be the date for when this will happen. I know there's more complicated things about all of this, and I don't necessarily understand those things, what the American laws are or what Trump is doing with it all. But what I did read, or what I did hear on CBC News, actually, our Canadian news, was that in the meantime, before there is an actual judgment made on it, this will hold. They can charge that de minimis is gone. They can charge the tariffs. So sorry, people. Now, I know some of the Canadians are going to say, well, what about just drawing it for the Canadians then? Or for, anybody that doesn't live in the United States. Okay, first of all, I can't afford to ship it overseas. Overseas shipping is astronomical. I sent a small little package of fat quarters to France, and it cost me 60 Canadian dollars to ship it to France. So I'm not made of money. And you're going to go, well, you just bought a new bamboo. Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, I'm not made of money. So any other place outside of Canada and the United States is not an option. The other option is shipping it in Canada. Well, it costs a minimum of about what I ship out, about $30.
Yeah, and that's not a problem. But like you said, there aren't that many Canadians. Well, there are less Canadians on here than
Americans.
So we don't like to leave other people.
No, we don't like to leave out other people with it. So the most fair thing to do for all sides, me, you, everybody else in the world, is to suspend it for a while.
Yeah.
Now,
until things change.
If this changes, if it goes back to that de minimis thing or whatever, then okay. But I don't want anybody having to wind up paying for something that they have won.
Yeah. Barb says Sowers Club has ended their monthly subscriptions effective September 1st.
Okay, Sowers Club is the one that's in Brampton that I had for a while. Yeah, and same reason, I'm sure, with this.
I'm sure this will affect other companies that are shipping to the U.S. as well. So that would be a problem.
Yeah. Temu and Shein were shipping small packages to avoid tariffs. It was discovered and they closed the loophole. Yeah, I knew about that too. I'd heard about that. Jackie says, Stephen, October is the next session of the U.S. Supreme Court. Yeah, I heard that on the news. So, but he can also do something that's asked for a stay. He's already asked for one, and what we heard with a CBC reporter was interviewing an American lawyer or something.
He was a justice.
He was a justice of a district court.
District court or something.
Yeah. And she said he could get another stay and prolong this, but maybe not. No one knows for sure whether it would depend on the Supreme Court, what they're going to do, how they will handle it. So yeah, it's all up in the air. It's the chaos that he's put us into. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. So new prize draw. Okay, so main topic, which we never get to, But very quickly, and this is generated from my pop-up so days and my Wednesday so days and things like that, and of course down the road the retreat and that, and it's about using Zoom. Okay, if you're going to join any of these kind of things, you need to know the basics of using Zoom. Okay, you can't avoid Zoom if you're going to be doing stuff online. You need to know some basic things for your computer. You need to know how to turn on your microphone. You need to know how to turn on your video. Those are pretty basic. And whether it's on a laptop or on your iPhone or on your iPad, you need to know how to do that. And also in the cases of phones, it could be an Android phone or an iPhone, and they work differently. The best thing for you to do is to take some time, do a search on YouTube for some videos. Look at the date of the videos. There are a lot of videos that go back 5-7 years ago. You want to find ones that are more current because Zoom keeps changing things around. But that's important to do because from my end, when you come on, I am very limited in how much help I can give you. I'm on a Mac and sometimes on an iPad. Those I can usually help you with. But if you can't see something on your screen because you have put another window over top of the Zoom window, and people do this and they don't know how to remove that, I can't help you because I can't see what you see. I want to help you, and we have people in the groups, regulars on that try to help as well. But you need to do some basic education for this. And this I'm talking about right now in order to prepare you for the retreat. It's very easy to do this stuff, very easy. And then there's also knowing how to change your name. A lot of people will book on to a Zoom and they've got their microphone, they've got their video, but the name that comes up is iPhone.
Or Bob's iPad.
Or Bob's iPad. Or something else, a nickname or something. And for my videos, for my lives, I need your first name and your last name on them. Now, usually I can go in and help you with that. I can, as the host, I can actually go in and change it. And I do to help people out. But it would make life so much easier for me, especially when it comes down to when we do the retreat, because the retreat, there could be 95 people on there. And I'm doing a lot of things that day. So, I don't want to screw up. I want the technology to be as seamless as I can possibly get it. So it would really be a help if you could, learn how to do it. It isn't hard. It isn't hard. It's just set aside an hour. If you're one of those people that fall in this category, set aside an hour one day to go onto YouTube and look for the information for this, because you will find it. Also check your equipment. Know how to use your computer or your iPad or your iPhone. Know where basic things are, like permissions. For, sometimes when you go onto Zoom on an iPhone or an iPad, it won't let you use your camera because it wants you to give a permission. And that's usually in your settings of your device. Again, AI will help you with this. Go on your computer and go, how do I give my phone permission to access my video, my camera? It will come right up as the first thing in a Google search, and it will give you step-by-step instructions on how to do it. This is one thing where AI is very good at. But you need to know how to use your tool. Well, think about it. If you're a quilter, you had to learn how to use your sewing machine, right? To do what you want to do. It's a tool. So you need to learn how to use your computer or your iPhone or your iPad as well, the basic fundamentals of this. Don't be like Walter's sister. Oh, well, what'd she say?
Well, she was a bank teller and she had taken time off to raise her kids. So she went back to work. She goes, "Oh, I don't know how to use a banking machine. I'll have to do that for my job."
And she's a teller. Yeah. Okay. So, you will also find, for those of you that are using Zoom, you probably have seen periodically where it's saying there's an update, like all software. There's always updates, right? Don't neglect the updates, okay? They only take a minute or two to download them. It's very automatic, sets it all up. But it's a good thing to have the most current version of Zoom because they're constantly changing it. They're constantly improving it too. So yeah, don't neglect those. It doesn't take any time or really no effort. You just click a button, bang, it will do it. So you need to be somewhat comfortable with using the basics of Zoom. It will make things for you so much easier when you come on to like the retreat or my pop-up so days and things like that. You won't be wasting a lot of your time trying to get your technology to work.
And frustration.
And I get frustrated for you when that happens because I wish I could jump through the computer screen and see what you're seeing and say, oh yeah, we just need to do this, bang, bang. But to describe it to you, or for you to describe the problem you're having to me, I can't see your screen. I'm not sure exactly what you're looking at. And I get very frustrated for you because of that, because I want your experience to be good with it. I will help you where I can. Definitely, I will not abandon you. And like I said, we have other people in the groups usually that know they may be using the same machine. For example, Heidi, one of my regular subscribers on here, she helped out one of the people on there that had a Windows machine. I run a Mac. I used to have Windows, but I haven't used my Windows machine in years for this kind of thing. So I'm not sure what you need to do with that, but she did. And she was more than willing to help out, and she did, and we got things figured out. So yeah, there are people there that will help you out. Don't be afraid to ever ask for that help. But do a little research beforehand, spend a little time getting familiar with the equipment. It will save you a lot of frustration in the end. The other thing too is somebody kept talking about AI. They were having trouble getting on because of AI. And I couldn't figure out what they were talking about. The only thing I could think of is that lately, Zoom has been pushing their AI features. But their AI features, for the most part, work with the higher level of licenses. Most people, if you're not hosting Zooms, you've got the free version. So AI is not really, it is sort of there, but nothing for you to worry about. But they want you to upgrade, pay money to, you know, just like everything else, to buy a subscription at another level. I have a subscription at the next level up because I need to in order to host things, and that's fine. But don't let those little advertisement bars that come down on the side of the Zoom when you're first logging in suck you in. They're an advertisement for a product that they have that you can get. You don't need it. You can live without it. Don't worry about it. If you're new to Zoom or you're not that experienced or you're having the free version, just ignore them. Don't worry about them. Etiquette. Okay. There is some etiquette, and I've put a link in the show notes to this video today to a woman who's talking about it from a business meeting point of view, but there's a lot of really good tips in there. And I highly recommend, if you're new to Zoom, that you grab a cup of coffee and watch it. I think it runs about 28 minutes. Some of the things that do apply is, one, don't talk over top of other people. This is just like in real life out there in the world when you're with a group of people. There's always one person in the crowd who has to talk louder than the rest and over top of them. That is extremely annoying. You've got to give the floor to other people as well. Sure, join into the conversation. Throw in your 2 bits worth. That is fine. That keeps things moving, and that's great. But be aware of monopolizing the conversation or interrupting other people. That is just standard etiquette in anything in life. At least that's what I was taught when I was growing up by my mother. It was rude to interrupt other people. Let them finish first. But sometimes those people that are talking don't finish. And that gets frustrating. So you also have to be aware of, are you monopolizing the conversation? Stay away from trigger topics. We talk about it being, for my Zoom meetings or events, a drama-free zone. You know the kind of topics. We were all taught this as kids. The topics you should never bring up in polite company. Religion, politics, possibly the weather. I don't know. We always end up talking about the weather. That's not a biggie. But politics and religion are, especially politics, given the climate we're in right now. And at least for my chat day, my sewing days and things like that, it's supposed to be something we come and escape from all the other shit that we're listening to every day on the news and whatnot. It's coming, you're in your happy place, you're sewing, you're doing something you enjoy amongst other people that are of the same mind. So as moderator, I do try to intercede if that should happen. But I have to say, people are usually very conscious of that, especially the ones that have been there, are regulars. So if you're new, just beware. Try not to upset the bucket.
I mean, you gotta have a certain amount of smarts about what you're talking about. Like yesterday, they were talking about the de minimis and the
Someone is at the front door.
de minimis and
and that kind of stuff. Yeah, you're gonna check that.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you expecting something?
No.
Well, anyways, so yeah, let's see what else. Oh, be friendly, and everybody usually is. But I'm just saying that one of the things this YouTube video said was when you first get on, when there's a suitable break, because sometimes when you come on, people are in the middle of a conversation, so you wait. Go back to number 1, and say hello, and people will welcome you there as well. I try to make a point of every time somebody comes on of saying, you know, hello, welcome, great to see you, that kind of thing. It creates a warm atmosphere, and that's what we're trying to create. And it also helps to maintain a positive environment, and that goes back to, you know, be careful about the trigger topics and things like that. Now here's one that can be very embarrassing. If you have to get up and leave the computer because you need to answer a phone call, or someone comes to your door, or a friend pops in, or your grandkids or something like that, if you have to deal with that situation at that moment in time, just mute your microphone, because we will hear everything you're talking about and saying. And sometimes it creates very interesting drama. So some things should not be revealed to other people that you don't know all that well. So that's a good habit to get into, muting your microphone. It's a good habit to get into, to mute your microphone anytime you're not speaking. Because maybe the dog runs into the house and is all excited. Maybe the grandkids run in and are pounding away and stuff like that. And all of that is being heard by other people and can also be somewhat annoying as well. And this is a term I just learned. No Irish goodbyes. Irish goodbyes is when someone decides it's time they have to leave and they just up and go. And don't say, I have to leave, bye-bye. The reason why is because everybody starts to wonder, where did Joe go? They didn't say they were leaving. When did they leave? What's happening? Do you think they had an emergency? Suddenly, drama. Okay? So, you know, if you need to, if there's a big discussion going on, you don't want to interrupt it, there's a chat mode. You can just write in the chat and go, and sometimes people do this, go, hi, I'm sorry, I have to go. Thanks, we'll talk to you a little later. And they put it in chat. It's just so there's no mystery. Okay? So say hello and say goodbye. But do check out that information that I've put the link to. Although it applies to business meetings, there's a lot of it that applies to any kind of Zoom as well. And the reason I'm bringing this up now is because I don't think people know. and it'll make your experience so much nicer and so much more comfortable for you. And I'm doing this in preparation for when we get to the retreats in October. I know it's a little advanced, but yeah, can never be too soon. So let's see here. We're finishing up. There were a couple of comments this week, but just before I get to those, Joanne G is here. Marjan says, thanks for the pop-up sew days. Yesterday it was fun as always. I wish I could have stayed longer. Yeah, this pop-up sew days are come and go as you please, too. Yeah, you don't have to be, if you thought you had to stay there all day, no, you don't. You know, life happens. Denise says, is your fall retreat going to be on Zoom? Yes, it will be, Denise. It will not be a YouTube live. It will be a Zoom. You'll get all the information about that when we get closer to the date. I usually do a video about how it all works as well, and there'll be a link for it, and you will have to register for it. It doesn't cost anything. It's absolutely free, but I usually have a waiting list, so it's my way of making sure you have a guaranteed spot. And as I said, about the tail end of September, I will be talking all about that stuff in much more detail for you. Dubrovka says, Stephen and Walter, we will miss you both for 2 live shows. We'll be on vacation. Oh, yay. You both behave, stay safe, and we'll chat again in 2 weeks. We'll miss our chats. Okay.
Enjoy your vacation.
Have a good wherever you're going. Caroline says, thank you for the so day yesterday. I appreciate everything you do, Stephen. Well, thank you, Caroline. But I'll tell you something. I don't just do it for you. I do it for me, too. Because it gets lonely. Especially when Walter goes off on a so day. But most of the time he's sleeping anyways. So, yeah, I might as well be here by myself. But anyways, yeah. Now, some quick comments. Wanted to know, this was based on our the walk I did on the vlog on last Monday, where I took you around our subdivision on my daily walk. It says, is the street parking restriction in all of Ontario or just local? There are restrictions. You can't have your car on the street at night. You can't have it hanging over your sidewalk, all this kind of stuff. Is that across Ontario? Well, it's a municipal bylaw, so it depends on where you live. So in a lot of municipalities, yes, but not universal across the province or the country. I made the comment about walking dogs.
Just a question.
What?
Joy says, if you have 95 people on your Zoom retreat, does the talking get chaotic?
It can, if people aren't following the etiquette that I just mentioned about talking over other people. But as moderator, I usually can step in if things are getting too chaotic. But I have found, for the most part, the majority of people are very courteous. And so we don't usually have a problem. There may be 1 or 2, and usually I can rein them in for that. So, yeah, it's usually people are very conscious.
Yeah, and people will say, I want to show something or
Yes.
something like that.
And then, yeah, so no, it's not chaotic at all. You would think it would be, but it's not. So I mentioned about dog walkers, and like sometimes dog walkers, they just keep the dogs going. Usually have a couple of them straight down the street, and I'm walking there. I usually end up giving them a wide arc. I go out in the street and come back up behind them on the sidewalk because, one, although they're doggies, and I do not dislike dogs, I want to pet them when they come by, but I also like to keep my fingers in my arm. So you don't know whether doggy is friendly or not. Saw a lady the other day, and I couldn't avoid her when she was coming up. I couldn't get over on the street. And I said to her, I stopped and I said, are your dogs friendly? And she went, oh, very friendly. And I says, is it okay if I pet them? She's, oh yeah, they'd love that. And they did. They were so fluffy. But some dog walkers are very courteous, and they will either go off to the side and just hold their dogs that as you go by, or go off into the street and come back around for it. But one lady said she says she always yields her dogs to others. And another one said, I have found some walkers to be obnoxious, but she put a smiley face after it. So I think she was being tongue-in-cheek. But Yeah, there are obnoxious walkers as well. So yeah, I see the point that she's saying. Retreat. You're running a busy, productive tech operation with 3D printers, embroidery, and sewing machines. Where are your retreats? My retreats, this was Linda Carlson. My retreats are right here because it's all done by Zoom. So it's all virtual. So you will be in your house. I will be in my house. That's where the retreats are. So there's no need to pack up things. There's no need to, get accommodation. You're at home. One about our Camp Samak walk. Thank you for the tour. I love seeing the campus and the swimming pool. And then she says, sneak into the park on those trails next time. Be a rebel, Teehee. This is said tongue in cheek, of course. Yeah, you can't. If you get caught, you can be fined for trespassing. Yeah, it's kind of sad because it's a beautiful area. But no, we can't do that. And then somebody who's a retired teacher wrote, now I'm a retired teacher. I really enjoy Labor Day too. When I started teaching, I was given some good advice. The two people you need on your team are the secretary and the custodians. That is a definite yes, because we were talking about that, I always made friends with the head secretary especially. But yeah, you want to keep them happy, because if they're not happy, you're not going to be happy. Happy secretaries and custodians make happy teachers. Okay, so just anything else here? Denise says our bylaws say that no parking on the street, only in the winter for snow plows. Yeah, with that goes. Ours is pretty much year round.
Year round, though, there are people that park on our street and they don't get fined.
No,
but
they get lucky.
But occasionally somebody will come around and find cars that are parked on the road.
And sometimes neighbors squeal on neighbors.
Yeah, well, I did notice a few months ago, I noticed our neighbor parks a lot on the street. And I noticed they came home one day and found a ticket on their
We didn't call it.
No, I didn't. I don't
It
care.
doesn't bother us, but there are just some people.
And I mean, we've gone over there a couple of times and said, while we're on vacation, we have a spot open on our driveway. Well, I'll say, well, we're on vacation during this time. You can park in our driveway while we're gone.
Yeah. The biggest problem is the fact that most of where we live, the houses have 2-car driveways, and we're lucky we can put Walter's car in the garage, but a lot of people, their garages are full, and ours used to be.
Yeah, a lot of people have we have 2-car driveways, and they're not long enough to put 4 cars in.
Yeah.
But they're most people have 2 cars. And then they'll have a kid that has a car.
Yeah.
So then they have 3 cars.
Or they have overnight guests, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
Too. So yeah. And I think you saw in the video, if you saw that video I made early on the vlog, that some people take a car and they park it lengthwise across the part of the driveway that goes on the other side of the sidewalk to the road. So technically that's their driveway, and they can do that.
No, they can't. In
I thought they
Oshawa,
could.
that's against the law.
Oh, is
that.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen
parking on the boulevard is against the law.
Oh, okay.
Boulevard driveway.
Didn't know that.
In Oshawa. It's okay in Ajax. See, it's a municipality.
Okay, we'll go to Ajax, park your car, and then walk.
Ajax is another municipality close to us. You can do that in that municipality.
Not in walking distance.
But not in our municipality. Though I've never heard of anybody getting ticketed doing that. So.
No, so I don't know. Yeah, it's the problem when you have multiple cars. Yeah. Okay, so that's it for us today. Thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoy what's left of the long weekend and everything. If you're going back to some kind of educational institution, or you have children that are, well, good luck with that. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Have a good one.